about CE5 and extraterrestrial contact, download my new book, now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple, and 14 other platforms. Book authored by Donald Ledesma. CE5, Frequencies of Contact.
Join your fellow Starseeds, Lightworkers, and Experiencers at the 2024 Full Disclosure Now Conference, this July 15th to 18th. This conference will be a fun and positively life-changing experience for so many. In addition to 4 days and nights of presentations, there will be special event dinners, dancing, fun time on the beach, UFO night watch tours, film screenings, vendors, and more at the lovely Serrata Beach Resort on St. Pete Beach, Florida. Over 34 Montauk Project survivors, Secret Space Program whistleblowers, ET contactees, and psychic healers will be presenting in the name of the Full Disclosure Movement. The truth must be revealed if we're all to achieve our Star Trek future here and now. Get your event passes and book your stay now at fulldisclosuremovement.org.
Holy crap.
I believe it was 5 separate craft. That's some straight UFO shit right there.
That's when I started seeing all of the lights and the contact that I've been witnessing.
I just kept filming and looking up at the sky, and it just started happening more frequently.
Look, what is that? What is that? What was that?
Hi, I'm Heather McLaren, ASDP ufologist from Scotland, and you're watching Aliens Track Podcast with Donald Ledesma.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Alien Strand Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Ledesma, and welcome to today's show. Yeah, it's going to be a good one, man. I swear, man, it's like I drink this coffee, right? Because it gets my mind thinking, you know. I know most people just drink it in the mornings, you know. We drink it here like almost all day. We'll drink it in the morning, we'll drink it for lunch, and then 1 or 2 for after dinner, you know, maybe. But you know, and that just kind of gets you going, man. I don't know about you guys. I like coffee. I like sodas too. My downfall of everything. But welcome to today's podcast. You know, here on Alien Strand Podcast, you can catch us on 2627 audio platforms. We are back up on Spreaker. You can even ask Alexa. We are on Spotify. We're all over the place. So after these video podcasts are done, they actually go on audio as well. All right. So if you guys missed them, you want to go back and listen to something, you can catch it on audio on YouTube, which we're live right now. Thank you. Give us a like and subscribe. We're on Twitch as well. Yes, thank you for watching. And we are here on Rumble, my favorite. I love Rumble, man. It's just like one of those things that, you know, fake book. Hello. I'm gonna vent again. No, not really. I've had enough of those guys. It's like even on instant messenger, I hate to say this, man, but these dudes are even like monitoring when we're kind of talking back and forth. I think they are, because there's like, man, I'm sending you videos and pictures. And I was like, I ain't getting anything. You know what I mean? And I send them stuff. They don't get anything either. What's the deal, man? What's up with that? Yeah. And yeah, that sucks. I hate it. But anyway, so today I am going to talk about a lot of different things, right? A lot of things were coming up on the feed on Facebook this past week, and then of course, I started spreading it out there. We did have some Bigfoot stuff too. I hope you guys enjoyed that show on Bigfoot last the week before, and I think we talked about aliens as well, with how they manifest themselves inside that star. It's kind of hard to see when you saw it last week, and I thank you guys for watching that. I really appreciate that. I appreciate all you guys, and I can watch your chats come through, or you can see it here on screen as well here on Rumble. And if you want to talk and ask something or whatever, I'll be glad to try to answer it. I don't have the answers to everything, but I will try to answer the best I can. Today, I do have some videos, yes, of a couple of Sasquatch, and I have a couple of UFO videos and an alien video too. Those things are very hard to catch. I'm talking about the extraterrestrial kind of alien, not the other ones. Yeah, those are hard to catch too. Anyway, but we every time somebody films one of these things, it's like, man, is that what they're catching, or it's like a glimpse, or and I love that they do that, when they do catch these little bits of the extraterrestrial as best as they can. I know, and there's some, of course, CGI. I get it. AI, yes, I know that's out there, but we try to do the best we can, right? And especially in our Film the Middle, right? You guys are watching on Amazon Prime. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. It's moving, man. You know what? Let me say something real quick. I have a good friend of mine. We just became really good friends. He's an actual director and a filmmaker of Disclosure as well, right? So I am gonna throw him a bone today, because you know what? I think he deserves it. He's got like about 10 films, man, on Apple and all over, man. So this is what his latest one, called Aliens Uncovered on the Cities of Lost Tribes. Go check this out on your Apple if you have it. Go check it out. His name's Clive Christopher, and great documentarian filmmaker. He's moving up there in the world. He's getting up there, and we're scratching each other's backs, because you know what? Disclosure's hard, man, to get across to folks. As far as getting it out there is, when we're like on that one, I believe he talks about the Grand Canyon and what they found inside of there, like as far as like Egyptian artifacts. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? And then we talk about the past as well, right? Past stuff. And that's what I'm going to kind of get into a little bit before we get on those videos, because I want to bring up something that bothered the crap out of me, and I don't know if it did you too, but it really got me kind of peed off. I'm going to say I'm going to keep this PG-13, and because something happened in the past, and I'm going to throw it on the screen right now, right? And it was this, and this is this was a stone head that they found in Guatemala, right? And of course, the history that everybody wants to forget. They're called the Olmecs, right? And the Olmecs, have been around since 1200 BCE and up to 4000 BCE. This is way before this civilization has been around, right? And because of that, there's a story, which this image that you're seeing right here has a story behind it. So I'm just going to read a little bit to you so that way you guys can get what these idiots did. And I'm going to say it like it is. And I don't know why they do this to our history, but this is exactly what takes place. So over 50 years ago, explorers in the dense jungles of Guatemala stumbled upon a gigantic stone head with striking features, thin lips, prominent nose, and eyes, gazing skyward, right? Almost like the Easter Island ones, right? Unlike the known of Hispanic sculptures, this monolith displayed distinct Caucasian characteristics, sparkling immediate intrigue, right? However, the story of this mysterious artifact quickly vanishes from public and consciousness, right? Consciousness. So, and then this is the tale that resurfaced in 1987 by Dr. Oscar Raphael Lara, a philosopher, a notary, received of an old photograph of this head, which you're seeing here right now. The photo was taken in the 1950s by a local landowner, which depicted the magnetic statue nested in the jungle, right? The discovery was briefly highlighted in the newsletter Ancient Skies, catching the attention of an explorer of David Childress and Curiosity, right? Says Childress traced the head into the location of the La Democratic in southern Guatemala. Okay, so this is where it gets to the idiocy of what happened, right? So upon reaching this, he discovered that the revolutionaries had used the head for target practice, leaving it severely damaged. The destruction rendered further examination to impossible. The artifact fell back into obscurity. Years later, the head appeared in a documentary, Revelations of the Mayans, in 2012, in which the extraterrestrial contact read into the issues of skepticism, right? So this right here, if people didn't know what this was, right, and it was an ancient artifact, and revolutionary back in then, they were just kind of using this target practice, pretty much destroyed it, right? Of course, there was more later found, and if you don't know where this place is located, so I'm just going to show you this real quick. So this is basically South America. So if you look down at the bottom left, right there is where this place is located, right, where these Olmecs were discovered being, right, where they were living, where their civilization took place, right? And it has a lot to do with, because we've always tried to figure out where they came from, right? We don't know, and how they disappeared, and that's what we always try to figure out, and a lot of different things surfaced. Later on they started finding the heads, which is here. These are pictures of what they were finding, right? And of course there's been this battle about how this civilization, is mixed with African culture, and they've been fighting back and forth about this, right? And there's still no definite answers of what was the actual culture of where it originated from. Of course, we're talking 1200, 4000 BCE, right? A lot of cultures came from Africa, and I don't care who you are, where you come from. This stuff here is, if you go and you do your DNA, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are and where you're from and what part of the world you're from. You're going to get a 2% African DNA. Okay. So just be prepared for that. All right. If you don't even know, because that's what's going to happen. All right. So why not came, everything just originated in that general constant, in that general area, right? So, and that's what we tried to figure out. And it kind of get me upset, because it's like, man, these people were like, didn't even know what they came across, and who knows what else they destroyed, right? And what if, like, they talk about the Mayans, and maybe they were or the Aztecs, they were in cahoots, kind of like with the extraterrestrials. We always wonder that, right? Wondering all the time, right? Of different cultures, different things, of the unknown. And this is what I talk about here on Alien Strand Podcast, right? I talk about many things, right? Even history, that's a part of history, right? So, and I brought it up because I want you guys to kind of remember that there's a lot of history that's buried in South America, that's literally has not been discovered. There was cities and cities of cultures that were just basically wiped out by the Spanish, and it wasn't, they didn't kill them. The smallpox did it. So it wiped out total civilizations back in the day, right? And this is exactly what happened, because they weren't immune to their bodies weren't immune to it. So it killed off so many civilizations, and that's what they feel that happened to all these civilizations from the past. They kind of just died off and fell, and there was just a minimum amount left, right? But yeah, we need to know more about that, and when you have to support these organizations that are trying to bring these things back to life, and this is what we need to do as part of that. But now let's switch another category, right? I remember we talked about Bigfoot, right? So this recent picture right here just popped up, right? It was like a helicopter. You can't really tell what it is, right? At first. So you're looking at it, and all of a sudden, there's this thing in the jungle. Well, not in the jungle. It's not a jungle. It's literally in the brush, right? So by the trees that we're looking there, those are like oaks and big, big forest trees, right? So we know that's not Africa or anything like that. It's just a totally different tree. And this thing was spotted kind of hiding there in the brush, right? I don't know what you guys make of that. Is it a gorilla or is it a Bigfoot? Or, I mean, what do you guys think? Apparently, this helicopter came close to it and was just trying to intrigued about it, right? What it is? What is it? What is these things, right? That's the hard part that we always try to figure out, right? Of what these Bigfoot or Sasquatch are as well, right? Are they a past civilization that we don't even know about? Like it's all this is going to come together as we're talking today, right? And I just want you guys to know that this is part of that, right? To kind of keep your mind open about maybe these things are just been walking around, because man, these things are in Alaska. They're in different parts of different countries as well. They're in Russia, everywhere. So these things are all over the world. So why not, if you really think about it, why not these things were a part of civilization before us? Maybe. And they're still walking around, but they haven't evolved, right? Maybe it's a different kind of species that we just has humanistic characteristics, but at the same time, it might be different. Now, speaking of Canada, I'm gonna show you one more video of the Bigfoot, and then we'll get out of that category. But check this out. This guy was filming out there in Canada, and you could see this Bigfoot kind of. It's a brownish color, and it was kind of hiding a little bit, right? And you could see the colors. So check this out.
Holy shit. Where is it? Oh, come on. It's right there. I don't have my glasses on. Look at that. Holy. That's what's making the noise. Holy. Holy shit. Oh crap, I lost it. Where'd it go? Holy. I'm pretty sure that was the thing that was making the noise. I'm not seeing it now. But I think that's it. Holy. Oh, cameras everywhere. Oh, look at that. What the hell am I looking at? I'm looking down there. I don't see it at all with my eye, but I can kind of see it on the screen. It's gone now. Holy. There it is. Holy. Oh, look. Oh my God. I'm guessing it's probably. Oh, look at it here. It's probably like, I don't know, 150 feet away. It's me. I'm behind it, I guess. I'll see what happens. I don't know if I should do this or not.
All right. So the guy's second guessing it. I don't know if I should do this or not. As you can see in the video, it's got the head is massive and the shoulders are so broad on this thing, right? And it's solid. It's a solid, mass. That's how big these things are, man. If you guys don't really understand what a Sasquatch, we think of them as like a regular man, the regular man or something like that, or female, whatever. They always going to have a really huge, broad shoulder, like massive, almost no neck. It almost looks like the head is just attached to the body, right? because of the muscles on this thing, right? So we know that these things are in Canada. Yes, they are, right? And it's a possibility that it's a different civilization that was here a long, long time ago. They just still kind of roam the forest, and hey, they do what they do, right? As long as they're not harming or killing anybody. Of course, we've had stories of the past of that uh, in the 1800s and stuff, where these things were attacking people. But I think it's because back then we didn't really understand, and we were more aggressive towards things, right? As far as shoot first, ask questions later. Sometimes, I guess, back in the 1800s, it was just that's the way it was. The laws were totally different, right? And it was just, hey, just survive, right? And maybe that's why they were more aggressive back in those days, right? And that's why I brought up the civilization before this and that, because you kind of think about it, maybe these things were there a long way before we were, and we're just kind of still in their territory, as I spoke before about it, right? And we have to think about that as well. And are they connected with extraterrestrial? Maybe, man, because people do see orbs and extraterrestrial. I read it to you a couple of weeks ago, how they're seeing orbs and all kinds of UFOs when they see a Bigfoot, right? Hey, I want the data, man. I don't know about you guys, but I want the data. So speaking of, up in the air, right? There was this video that just popped up. There was this air show, and it looks like, it almost looks like, I think they're P-51 Mustangs. I'm not sure, but there was an air show, and this UFO comes extremely close to these uh, dual airplanes going side by side. So it was a great video, and I just want you guys to check this out. Let me know what you think about it. And it's kind of quick, so kind of keep your eye on it. Here we go. So these things flew by, and then it's almost like they're monitoring the airspace. Really, that's what it looks like to me. I don't know what it looks like to you guys, but if you guys want to, chat on there, go for it. I think it is, man. I think these things are just inquisitive as we are. But just think about that just for a minute. What you just saw, P-50, I don't know if they're P-50, 51s, but they might be. And they always took pictures of these orbs that were flying next to these old aircraft, right? Back in the day, they call them the Foo Fighters, right? They didn't have no words to describe what they were seeing, but they were seeing orbs, right? This is an actual disc that's actually there, right? That's going by these P-51 Mustangs, if that's what they are. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but and it's just kind of strange how they're so inquisitive of us as we are of them, right? And it's the same thing over and over. We're seeing these extraterrestrial craft more and more every day. They're popping up more than daylight. Remember, we should just see them at night. That was it. It was just nighttime. All right. Wow. We'd see lights and lights and lights. And it was kind of hard to make out what we were seeing. But now these days we're catching so many during the day now. And I believe the reason why is because everybody has a camera in their hand now. Back in the day, they didn't, right? So this is how we make out more videos, and we get to see more things as they're unfolding. Speaking of an up close and how these things maybe react or counter-react, how they cloak themselves in a sense, I'm going to show you this video of this cloud coming from the ground up, right? And you could see something going in and out of it. And it's so strange and bizarre, right? Because we always talk about these UFOs, how they can cloak themselves as clouds, right? And we're still trying to figure out how they're doing that. But let me show you this video real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. And let me know what you think about it. See, check this out. Watch. Did you see that movement, man? I mean, it was this way, and then it went sideways, and then you saw the little. It almost looked like a triangular craft going into, and then that triangle, it was black, and then it changes into the white cloud, right? Right on film, it does that, right? And that is the strangest thing you've ever seen. Anybody in audio land out there? I mean, it's a cloud flipping over from the ground up. I'm talking maybe from 20 feet, and then it starts rising up to maybe 100, 200 feet up in the air as it's slowly spinning, right? And and then it's changing. It's almost like you could see something changing inside of it. Now, do you think that that is a cloaked ship, right? And maybe something coming out of it, right? I think there is. I think it is, right? And it's almost hard to to explain to people uh, what they're seeing or what's happening there. Um, I don't know what to say on that, right? It's just that does it cloak or can it cloak itself? Yes, and I think that's what we're seeing there, right? I think there's a lot of factors that come into play. How this craft operates, with as Bob Lazar talked about the element 115 and how the reactor reacts, right? And what if these things go into the water? They use some kind of um, they're pulling moisture, right, to make these clouds in a sense, to cloak itself, but it stays within the space. So if you think about this just for a minute, it's like how would the cloud, like us, when we see a puff of smoke, when you see the puff of smoke, it just kind of dissipates, right? So how is it that this cloud would stay in that same shape or form and it's just barely moving, right? I'm gonna tell you how. There is a bubble around this craft, and whatever it's changing into, that's this cloaked field that's in there. We're just going to say cloaked, because they're using the elements of our own atmosphere to cloak it. It's inside of this bubble, and this is why it doesn't dissipate or change shape. It stays within that shape because it's locked in, almost like a. Just think about it this way. Let's just say inside that bubble there is no time and there's no space, right? And there's no gravity, so it's gonna kind of linger in there. Probably be somewhat of gravity, just a little bit, but it's almost like it's just stuck inside of there. And this is how I think that maybe these things are operating, and they're using. Me and Terry Lynch talked about it many, many times on a lot of our podcasts, right? Speaking of Terry Lynch, they put out the fires out there in Lapine, Oregon, so everything's good. It's thumbs up. I just talked to him 2 days ago. Family's safe, everybody's safe, and I'm glad that they put out the fires. Now, we've talked about the propulsion of these things and how they act and how they react and how they counteract, right? And of course, we saw with the gimbal that they released from the military of what these things were, right? And how that gimbal, there was something inside of there with a field, with a magnetic field, keeping it stationary as it was flipping upside down and kind of going this way, and you know what I mean. So I believe this is how these things are acting and counteracting inside of that bubble, electronic magnetic field. If you didn't learn anything, just learn electronic magnetic field. It's all around us, man. It's all in your phones, everywhere. If you get you can download a meter on your phone, and they're real cheap on Amazon too. And just kind of go to your any electronics, you're going to get some kind of field. Everything has it, Bluetooth, everything has it, right? Wi-Fi, but these things have a different kind of field, right? And I'm going to show you another video. It's just came out. I believe this is in Mexico. I'm not sure. This one's in the clouds too, but this is a craft that you can see going by, right? So check this out, and check this out. So there is no sound, but you could see this thing pretty much going through the clouds over the city, right? Oh, this is in India, Jaipur, India. So what's happening here in audio world? There's this craft hovering over a white building, maybe a few 100 feet above the buildings, and then kind of going behind the clouds. Now we know this thing is real because you see it. Check it out, man. You cannot deny what that is. It's a saucer shape, cylinder shape, and it's going through the clouds, literally right there. And they're breaking it down for you so you can see the electronic magnetic field around this craft. There is one there. You can see it right there. They're beautiful. They did a beautiful job by breaking it down, by the way. So when you see it, they're going to do a little slow motion here. This is the May 4th, 2024, that this craft. Now they're breaking it down into different analysis, right? Different spectrums here. So we're seeing more of a daylight, a night and day, kind of in that light. These things are over our heads every freaking day, man. Every freaking day. And that was a great, great catch, by the way. And here, like I said, here in Alien Strand, it's about disclosure. I don't know if you guys like hearing me saying that a lot or whatever, but I try to give as much disclosure as possible. That is disclosure. I mean, that's real. It doesn't get any better than that. I know people are watching on Twitch right now. Thank you for watching. And like I always said, there is something piloting this thing, right? Or more than one, maybe multiple inside of this craft. A good friend of ours, her name's Nancy Tims, I believe. She posted a thing on Facebook saying, if you saw an extraterrestrial craft come down and they asked you to go, would you go? I don't know, man. I answered with, it depends on the extraterrestrial, right? What I'm looking at. If it looks human like us and everything, okay, I might take that chance. But if it looks like them little green things or brown things with big old eyeballs, the little 2-footers, 3-foot, no, thank you. I don't think so. I'm not ready for no probing. I don't know about you. They do that, by the way. That's something that wasn't made up. It's something that actually happened to somebody, and they didn't throw it out as a joke. I think this was in the 1950s, I believe. This gentleman got abducted, and he talked about that. And as soon as they did that, people just joked around about being probed, and really, it's just crazy. Ryan Keaton says, every day, maybe. He says, maybe he'll go. I don't know. It's a possibility, right? And I'm going to show you this. I got one more to show you. All right. And then this is going to be a short one, not very long. But so we're talking about these extraterrestrials, what they are, possibility of what they could be. Right. And as far as being taken, nah, that ain't happened. I've talked to many people. A lot of people do contact me because, man, they're going through some stuff. I swear to God, man, that they're sending me pictures, videos of their bodies, scratches, big old, just bruises and these 3 marks, triangular shaped. What does that? And why do it when they're asleep? And that's my question. That is my question. It's like they wait till you're in a subconscious state of mind, right? Because when you're out, man. I don't know about you, but I can fall asleep in like a minute and a half. As soon as I close my eyes, it's done, right? A lot of people can't, but they say people that don't have no conscious, that happens. I don't know about that, but anyway, back to the seriousness. It's like I think they take you when you're in that level, right? And in your subconscious, and that's when they interact with you more, and it kind of gets me freaked out in a sense, right? So I'm going to show you this video of it's actually stills. So what they did was there was this orb coming by, and they had their night vision camera, right? They're catching this orb, and then it morphs into something else. So these are actually still images from the actual all it was able to do as that night vision camera was take photos. I don't think it was able to take video because I didn't see it. All right. So I'm going to show it to you here. So this is what came out of and it's going to go forward. So this is what came out of the bubble, right? That was in there. And you can make out that there's some kind of face, arms, almost looks like it's holding a stick or something. I don't know. But this is what these are inside of these orbs sometimes. This is on the ground. This is not up in the sky. This is not a twinkling star. This is what they saw. Now look at this. You see it. It's kind of just going by, and then it goes right in front of the camera, and they're using this night vision to get these still shots, right? And yet, they get that image from it. It almost looks humanistic, right? Uh, you can almost make out eyes, nose, things like that, right? And does it look like demonic to you, or does it look more extraterrestrial? What do you guys think? Do you guys think that that's what that is? I mean, and this came out of that orb, right? And I mentioned this on the last podcast. You guys saw that twinkling star. I took stills of it. I don't know if it was my mind playing tricks on me. I don't know. But seems to be getting a lot of, once you start slowing these things down, getting more still images, that you're able to see what's inside of this orb, right? And that is the spooky part. Total spooky. Because we don't know what we're looking at times, right? I've said this over and over and over. I don't know what these things are, right? I mean, all we can do is speculate of what these things are and how they manifest themselves, right? Do they manifest themselves in a uh, of course they're in our dimension, right? Because you're seeing these orbs. A lot of people do catch them with their ring cameras, things like that. Do we see these things in that sense, right? To where we're trying to make out exactly what these things are. Heather Cash says, not demonic, extraterrestrial. Says, he actually, Ryan says, he actually looks pretty chill. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I mean, but who's to say what it is? I guess as long as it didn't hurt anybody, I guess we can put it that way, right? As long as this thing didn't hurt anybody, it just kind of went by, it caught it on camera, um, and it was able to show itself, right? To show itself to where, you know, um, here I am, I'm watching you, you're watching me. And I have a gentleman, his name's William Haynes. He sends me a lot of footage. I talked about his stuff the other day, and he sends me a lot of new photos and videos that he's catching above his home there in California at night. A lot of blue orb stuff, right? Just like this, but it's up above the skyline, and it's pretty compelling stuff too, right? But what I told him was that it's a possibility that these things now, because he's catching them more and more now. This is what my new book's going to be about, how a lot of these extraterrestrials have made contact with you, right? They know you're watching them. They know already. Once they get your number, they get your number. That's it. You're going to see them for the rest of your life. So, and I told him that. I said, look, man, they know you're watching them. So now they're starting to manifest and show themselves to you a little bit more, right? This is how these things are interacting. Believe me, I've been doing this a long time. And I've talked to hundreds of people about their interactions, right? And how these things become what they are, right? You might call me wrong or whatever. We don't know what kind of extraterrestrial it is, if it is one, or we don't know where it came from. It doesn't really explain itself when it's there. But when we do the C5s, the C3s, whatever, C5, we try to make contact, right? Some people don't try to make contact. It just kind of makes contact with them. And then once you're pulled in, you're in, man. You're in. That's what it is. Ryan Key says, that's the truth. And I'm not here to change your mind or anything like that. I'm just giving you the data, right? Because that is what I'm noticing on all my notes, how this stuff is manifesting with people, right? I don't care who you are. It's all different races, everything. It's different people from all over the world, not just United States. I talk to people in Australia. I talk to people in Canada all the time. I talk to people of course, in Scotland. I've talked to people everywhere. Small little islands that I can't even pronounce the names, that they send me pictures and things like that because of what they're experiencing, right? And all they're trying to do is say, "What the hell am I looking at here? What is this?" And they ask me because I've talked to a lot of people just like them, and they're regular people just like you out there. They're not no famous person. They're not nothing, right? They're just regular, people trying to figure out exactly what's happening. Some is demonic. Some of them ends up being more of a demonic entity than extraterrestrial. There are some cases out there where it almost looks extraterrestrial and almost acts extraterrestrial, but it becomes demonic later, right? Because the what comes afterwards, to some, not everybody, all right? Don't flip my words here. This just happens to some. And there are other extraterrestrials that don't do this at all, period. This is not part of their agenda. A lot of them, it's a few that are out there, from that they say that they look human like us, right? They're more pale, the blonde hair, the blue eyes, all the good stuff that comes along with it. Beautiful people, right? And this is what, you know, people claim to have been visited by, right? Or have been taken to and shown different things, or these kind of extraterrestrials. And they're out there, right? Man, if I could just get some pictures, send me some pictures. I would really like to see one, man. I mean, it's just, I am intrigued just as much as you are of this kind of extraterrestrial. And I don't doubt anybody. I don't doubt what anybody tells me. It's just that we need more physical evidence, right? And this is what I'm about: the physical evidence of what we're trying to see, and what the agenda, these things, what they're about, right? And why they pick us and a certain person or a certain blood type or whatever. That you could have been going on through the generations. Your great grandfathers and grandmothers, great may have been going through this. Sometimes it skips generations. Same way, right? Like they talk about twins, it skips a generation. It may be, but the same thing happens with extraterrestrials. You know, and I've talked to some people and I say, "Hey, man, do you know if your grandmother or your mother has talked about this?" And I was like, "You know what? They have mentioned something like that, but just very faint, right?" So sometimes these things go back a long way in your lineage, right? Because they like you. Some of these things like you, right? Whether they don't do harm to you or not. And maybe you're a point in your life where whatever you want to believe, you know, they're there to show you that something does exist around humanity as well, right? That's non-human. And that's what disclosure is about, is showing the physical evidence of everything that is taking place and unfolding before your eyes, right? So that is the truth. And all I do is speak the truth of disclosure and ufology and everything else that comes in between, right? Spiritualism, everything that comes with it, right? Because we all resonate together, right? I just saw this film about this guy that says, you got some people, you have to take your shoes off, go outside and ground yourself, just your bare feet on the ground, on the grass or the ground, as long as it's not hot, But they say to do that for about 10 minutes. I saw a video. There was this old woman that they took a sample of her blood before, and then her blood platelets were like all stuck together, right? And then they said, okay, go back outside, go ground. So she took her shoes off, went outside and just walked around the grass for 10 minutes, came back. They took another blood sample, and then they started zooming in with the microscope. Now, this time, all the blood was separated and it was all flowing a good direction, right? What does that? And the proof was in the video. I should have put it on today, but I'll do it on the next one. So you guys can know I'm not full of crap. So, in other words, we're grounded. There's energy, right? Coming from the ground up, going through us. And it helps us move. It helps you open your mind a little bit more, right? Maybe it helps your health wise as well, as your blood circulates a little bit better, right? As we get older, it's harder for us, right? We start getting blood pressure problems. We start having diabetes. We start, you know why? Because our eating habits are bad. I don't know about you, but I like my tacos, and Coca-Colas and all that. It happens, man. It happens to all of us. We eat so much crap now these days. It's unbelievable. But it's the grounding, right? That has to take effect, right? Which I'm trying to say is we're all connected. The natives had it right. Mother Earth, we're all connected, right? So why not be connected to these extraterrestrial beings as well, right? Since we're all universally connected. And you got to think about that just for a little bit, and I just kind of think outside the box a little bit, so that way you can kind of think outside the box. It's sometimes it's good to keep an open mind on a lot of things, and then you bring yourself to what you think everything is all about, right? Whether it's extraterrestrial, whether it's spiritualism, whether it's you, or whether anything, right? As long as it connects you all together with everything and you keep an open mind, right? And that's what this is about. This is what this podcast is about. Keep an open mind, because I believe with that, you end up having more of a great awakening, right? You have that awakening moment in your life to where it's like, wow, I see things much differently as I used to. I'm not going to preach here to you all night long, but I'm just kind of telling you, ground yourself in the morning, take your shoes off, take your socks off, go outside, walk in the grass, don't step on dog poop. Because we got dogs here too. So, do that for about 10 minutes, man, and get your blood going and stuff like that. Just in the morning when it's cool. Because down here in South Texas, oh God, it's hot. So you got to do it early in the morning or late in the evening. All right. So if you have a chance to do that, ground with Mother Earth and get yourself kind of flowing a little bit, and maybe, just maybe, you'll start thinking a little differently and having a better, better health. All right. Let's all just say it that way, including myself. Anyway, all right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. I enjoyed giving you all this information. I know the beginning was kind of, but you know what? We need history, man. You got to know your history, man, because everything kind of goes in a circle. History always repeats itself. All right, remember that it always does. All right, guys. So thank you guys for chiming in today. I really appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up here on Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. Follow me here on Rumble. I hope you guys enjoy this podcast today as much as I have. And, if I didn't learn you, well, I need to learn you a little bit better. All right, guys. Keep your eyes in the skies. Keep your head out the window. Pull over when it's safe to do so. Give somebody the camera. If you can't catch it right away, pull over where it's safe to do so. And, just stay focused, man. Things will start coming together much better than you think. All right. You guys have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening. And have yourselves a good night. See you on the next one.
Join your fellow starseeds, lightworkers, and experiencers at the 2024 Full Disclosure Now Conference, this July 15th to 18th. This conference will be a fun and positively life-changing experience for so many. In addition to 4 days and nights of presentations, there will be special event dinners, dancing, fun time on the beach, UFO night watch tours, film screenings, vendors, and more at the lovely Serrata Beach Resort on St. Pete Beach, Florida. Over 34 Montauk Project survivors, Secret Space Program whistleblowers, ET contactees, and psychic healers will be presenting in the name of the Full Disclosure Movement. The truth must be revealed if we're all to achieve our Star Trek future here and now. Get your event passes and book your stay now at fulldisclosuremovement.org.